Today we're going to be doing the color wheel practice, and we're going to follow the directions. I've already opened it, downloaded it from Blackboard, and opened it inside of Illustrator. So on the left, we're going to create our color wheel. All right, we're going to use the polar grid tool, which is in the in with the line segment. Polar grid is the last one in with the line segment tool. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to click once in the middle of that circle to the right, and we're going to change the width to 3 inches. The height to 3 inches, the number of concentric dividers, which is the circles within that circle, kind of like a dartboard, we need 0. All right, looking at the image on the left, I can see that it says 0. And number of radial dividers are the segments in between that are coming out from the radius. We'll need 6 of those. Okay, and we can see that that's the number there. And we're also going to check off fill grid. Press OK. And you should have a color wheel begun. You're going to throw that into the middle where it's supposed to be. You are then going to select this, and you're going to go to the live paint bucket, which is in with the shape builder, live paint bucket, which is K. As it's selected, you're going to go ahead and make sure that you have your color swatches available, right? We have above the live paint bucket is a kind of a annotator. This is what lets you know what swatch you have. I'm using the right and left buttons on the keyboard to change the color. So under purple, I'm going to be changing this to a purple. Okay, as we have the polar grid selected, I have live paint bucket selected, and as I click that first one, all right, click to make it a live paint group. When you've clicked to make something a live paint group, it is no longer it's a different animal. It's got a special operation on it which makes it find the edges of these lines or these paths and then fill those edges in. So I'm now going to press the right key, and I found red. Right key, now I found orange. Right key, here's yellow. I didn't do the right orange. I'll find that. I'm looking over at my swatches over here, and I can see that this is, I really want to use these ones, the brights. So I'm going to use that for the red. And as you can see now, I'm in this folder for the brights, and it's going along. I've got the orange, which is here. Right is yellow. Right should be green, blue, and then that's a pretty decent purple. All right, so now I have created the color wheel using the polar grid. Feel good about it. And now these are just regular, just fills, regular shapes, objects that you can just press a fill in. So I'm going to, the primary colors are what? Yellow, green, or excuse me, yellow, blue, and red. The analogous colors, just choose any that are there. I'm going to use the warm colors, which are the ones on the right, red, orange, and yellow. Red, orange, and yellow. And then the secondary colors are the primary colors mixed together. So we have green, orange, and purple. Now complementary colors are colors opposite each other on the color wheel, so I'm just going to choose one. We'll go with purple and yellow. Great. Now, we are now going to learn about using a blend, and I'm going to follow the value scale directions. Use the rectangle tool to make a rectangle that covers the first square in the rectangular grid template. Fill this rectangle in black. Get the rectangle tool. Fill in this rectangle in black. I don't think it needs a stroke or anything else like that, so I'm just going to make sure it's filled in with black. And I don't need a stroke on there, but I'll leave it on there just so you can see what's happening. Okay, so I left the stroke on there. I'm now going to use the rectangle tool again to make a rectangle that covers the 10th square on the rectangular grid and fill it in with white. I'm just going to copy this, click, drag, hold Shift and Alt, throw it over that number 10, and then turn it white. All right, Now, shift select both rectangles so I can select both of them. They're now both selected. I'm going to go to menu, which is up here. Go to object, blend, and blend options. I've got to first make the options for the blend. Go to specified steps. The number of steps will be 9. I will press OK. Then I will go to, while they're still selected, object, blend, make. And I should have made a value scale. This is what most artists do when they're trying to get a feel for a medium. They'll see how they can create value with, say, like a pencil or paints or whatever. You can see here that I've got the stroke still on there. So if I take off that stroke, it should be, you should just see the edges of the color hitting color. Okay, that's your good value scale. We're going to do the same thing for saturation. This is the intensity of color. We're going to go to, well, you could just click and drag this sucker down here, holding down Alt. Double click within the group of the blend. Select this one and call it, I don't know, maybe red or blue or whatever we're going to use as an intense primary color maybe. Maybe we just use red. That is the stroke that's on the outside, so I need to make sure I set that to a different thing. Turn off the stroke, I don't want it. And now I've also made my saturation scale. Obviously I did it wrong. I should have switched it around. So let's make that right. Make that white. And we'll select that one and make that one red. And then we're all done. You're going to save this to the color folder on the Turnitin server.